Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. Hope you guys had an amazing Father's Day weekend. I know I did. Went swimming with the kids for about 2 hours, have a massive sunburn. But, make sure I got, sunblock on the kids first and foremost. That's always, the better thing. And also, congratulations to all the Boston Celtics fans. And if there's a couple of Boston Celtic heads watching this, congratulations. You are now the 2023 24. I think that's how they kind of do it. It's kind of crazy how that kind of works out, but 2023-24 NBA champions. So congratulations, hanging banner number 18, absolutely 110%. But hope you guys got your basketball fixed. But now we're gonna get into some wrestling. So thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today lined up. Today we're gonna talk about we're gonna get into WWE Clash at the Castle, but before then, I kind of want to kind of jump into how we got there on WWE Smackdown. I also want to get into Clash of the Castle, and then we're going to jump right on into the third segment, which is the Monday Night Raw preview. I know usually I have Monday Night Raw preview. I usually have that as my second, but we kind of have to cover a lot of things first. And then I'm going to jump into my Monday power rankings, men's and women's wrestling. I'm going to give you my top 10. Of course, we're going to try to get that done in a timely manner. And our segment number 5, we're going to get into Memorial Monday. Thought we'd get into my man Shad Gaspard, who, if you don't know him, he's Shad and JTG of the Crime Time. Not definitely one of the best men, one of the best wrestlers, one of the best like fathers. Definitely ever thought it would be awesome. It feels like it's fitting to kind of have him, kind of honor him a day after after Father's Day, because this guy is the ultimate dad, and we will get into it. But before, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Shoot me your questions, comments, concerns. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. This ultimately puts your question up on top of the list so I can see it. Right now I'm kind of having a little trouble with my OBS. Technology, ladies and gentlemen, is amazing. It's absolutely crazy, can do a lot of things, but sometimes it might bite you in the rear end here and there. So I'm trying to figure that out in show. Hopefully I get that out so I can hear you guys' comments and stuff like that. But yeah, remember to use the gsmcpodcast.net, shoot over your questions. I'm going to fix it up ASAP, hopefully. It really does help the show. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity all the way, 1,010%. So remember, the link is at the gsmcpodcast.net. So, without further ado, let's start with our segment one. We're going to talk about our WWE Smackdown review. Once again, Chelsea Green and Naomi, I knew they were going to fight. I kind of were hoping, I was kind of banking on it, especially with, like I said, once when we get into Clash of the Castles. Now the women tag team division is absolutely wide open. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, although Piper Niven, once again, I will get into a Clash of the Castle. Although she was unsuccessful at winning the WWE Women's Championship, now I feel like Chelsea Green and her can kind of strive for more of a World Women's Tag Team title. I feel like that's kind of more of their, forte. I feel like they kind of need each other. And when I say that, I feel like, Chelsea. I feel like Chelsea has so much potential. I feel like she can be, kind of like that heel, kind of like that. Oh man, I was thinking of, oh my God, I was watching Clash of the Castle and I was like, oh my God, she kind of reminds me of, like a, oh my God, it's gonna bother me all day because it's like, it's like in your face, like, you know what I mean? She's in your face. You want to love her. Like her atmosphere and the way that she like pops out of the television, the way she pops out of the promos, the way that she like kind of holds herself, you kind of want to root for her. Definitely 110%. Oh man, who was it? I think Sasha Banks. I kind of compare her to Sasha Banks because kind of like the glamour kind of way to it, and you know, Sasha Banks. The best thing about her was that she was never like kind of out for like Bailey when they were WWE World Women's Tag Team Champions. She was never really out for her, for a team. She was kind of like, okay, I kind of want what's better for me right now. So is Chelsea Green, if she can land in that kind of character, portrayal, I feel like that would be good for her character. Obviously you have Piper Niven. I hope the best for her. Obviously she did lose at home. It was kind of like a home field advantage kind of thing. But I don't know. It was like I said, we'll get into that, a little later. Next, we see Santos Escobar. He had a promo. Legado del Fantasma is still looking for a place on SmackDown. I feel, God, I don't want them to fade away because I feel like in this modern WWE, kind of Paul Levesque era, I feel like Paul Levesque can't let somebody like Legado del Fantasma, the LWO, the Authors of Pain, the Awesome Truth, the Grayson Waller effect with the awesome. I feel like he can't let people kind of like, flow away. Like, kind of like what you're seeing with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. I guarantee you under the Vince McMahon era, I feel like they'd be kind of be an afterthought by now. But, I don't know. You can't have that for your wrestling promotion because if you have that for your wrestling promotion, then fans like us, definitely for me, I know from my perspective, I'm like, man, like you kind of, it feels like it's like that flavor of the week. Like you pop open that magazine, you're like, oh, that's cool. And then like 2 weeks later, you're just like, oh, okay, oh man, how to work a better, how to have a better home gym. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it just like, then they just like kind of disappear, thus kind of destroying their career. So I feel like under the Triple H, Paul Levesque era, I feel like everyone's going to have a title. Everyone's going to kind of have kind of have a place in the storylines and stuff like that. Well, that obviously, 110%. I feel like that's what I kind of want as a wrestling fan because I hated watching promotions where you would have that guy as like the squash match, whatever, or kind of like Braun Breaker, kind of like what Braun Breaker is now with WWE, which I really, really, honestly did not want for him. They said they're going to change his character. It's been rumored, it's been reported, so still working on trusting that. Next, we have the Grayson Waller effect. You kind of see a wedge. You kind of see a wedge between Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And honestly, I feel like if you're a WWE fan, Austin Theory, he kind of was, he was kind of done wrong by WWE. And not wrong, like as if like in the worst way ever, because he was Vince McMahon's last guy. That's what, obviously that's what's been, reported and stuff like that. He was Vince McMahon's last guy. And it would just be so amazing if he found, we all knew it. We all knew that he was going to be Vince McMahon's last guy. And we'd be like, oh, why do we want what Vince McMahon wants for us when he's gone? This guy's gone. And if they find a way, imagine if they find a way to turn him babyface with Grayson Waller. They would lose the tag team championships. But so far, Grayson, like he pulled him, he pulled Austin Theory to take the hit from DIY. I feel like it'd be smart for WWE if they would ever, if there's ever a hope to kind of replenish, if there's ever a hope to kind of restore, if there's ever a hope to put Austin Theory in this idea of once, obviously you heard John Cena say it, Randy Orton, oh, this guy's going to be a world champion one day. We don't see it. I don't see it, especially as a wrestling fan. I really honestly don't see it. Him becoming babyface, honestly, it's probably because he's been heel for so long. He's been heel for the longest time. And it's to the point where like I feel I don't know, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Because if you go to heel, we're gonna hate it. If you go to babyface, we're gonna hate it. So there has to be that perfect balance. So it's going to be interesting to see what WWE creative does with Austin Theory's character. I guarantee that after SummerSlam, these guys will not be WWE Tag Team Champions. All right, next we have AJ Styles. We have AJ Styles. Cody Rhodes. Um, yeah, this was a good promo. This is probably the best promo between two guys that have established, success outside of the WWE kind of spectrum. AJ Styles, he kind of not really broke the fourth wall, but he was like, like Cody Rhodes, you were in Ring of Honor, guess what? You quit. You were in AEW, a promotion you built up with your boys and you quit. And you're in New Japan Wrestling, and guess what? You quit. And Cody Rhodes was like, "Yeah, I did quit, but I gambled on myself." He ultimately knew that the best place to come was, the most important title, the entire industry. He pretended like it was, I don't know. And then he said you pretended to be Mark Henry for a night, and I was like, "Oh!" Like I thought that was pretty cool. I definitely loved, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes showing us that he could kind of be. I don't want to say that word. He can kind of be, we'll G rated, kind of be mean. You're such a meanie. Like, obviously, in adult terms, you'd be like, man, that guy was a giant, but I don't know. I just feel like it's nice to see a different side of Cody Rhodes. Definitely, I know there was kind of contemplation on maybe Cody turning heel because right now, I guess according to reports, I think it was Ringside News. I read an article that said that honestly, Bailey and Cody Rhodes are kind of boring champions. They're kind of better chasers as they are like, kind of holding up a company, so to speak. So, that's kind of something to read into because that was something that I was kind of, acknowledging because I was like, honestly, if you look at Cody Rhodes and if you look at, his WWE title reign, if you look at some of the superstars on SmackDown or Raw that might be able to challenge him, might be able to kind of, put down the, his story, so to speak. I don't think there's really anybody. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of nobody except Roman Reigns. Except Roman Reigns. Obviously, you kind of did have this thing with the Bloodline and Solo Sikoa, but don't want to get into that right away. But I don't know. It was kind of crazy. Very, very crazy. So another thing that I kind of anticipated from SmackDown, you lost Ricochet. They did have a WWE Speed kind of promotion exclusively on X. But I feel like without Ricochet, I don't feel like Speed is worth watching. And I'm not trying to sound, cynical. I'm not trying to be not trying to be a jerk and kind of crap on anything that the WWE does without Ricochet. But I hope they're in contract talks with him. I know that he's been written off of WWE because of the whole Braun Breaker thing, slamming him through the windshield of a car. But I don't know. I just feel like but that's just my opinion. I feel like, from my perspective, I feel like WWE Speed was created for Ricochet because they kind of owed him. They owed him from the beginning. They owed them, I compared it over and over again. He was kind of like, he was very popular in New Japan Professional Wrestling, very very popular in the independent in the independent circuit. And he was this close of going to AEW. Obviously, he has a close friend with Osprey. And I feel like it was one of those things where, like, where you see another wrestling promotion have this shiny new toy and you just get jealous and you're like, I want that. I want that. And the moment you have it, you don't do crap with it. That's in a nutshell of what Ricochet was for the WWE. And of course, that's my opinion. If you have any, different thoughts of that, hit up the chat so we could talk about it. Moving on, so we had Queen Nia against Mi Chen. Nia was able to pick up the victory. Kevin Owens with the Latino Heat shirt. I saw that with with the Eddie Guerrero show. With the Eddie Guerrero shirt, absolutely love that. I like how Kevin Owens is kind of like. I feel like he kind of wears these shirts to kind of be one with the people. I feel like just like kind of like this feel, kind of like this feel of like, relativism that you might have with KO, as opposed to like someone that's like, absolutely like, kind of like, like I love Randy Orton. But Randy Orton, I love this character. He's not really going out to pander to the crowd. He doesn't care if you hate him. He doesn't care if you love him. He's going to do his actions that will ultimately, further him up to win the WWE Championship. That's something you have to respect about Randy. That's something you have to respect about Sami Zayn, is to go out there and kind of, pander to the Saudi Arabian, like where he wears the, the whole get up, the turban and stuff. Dude, that's cool, man. That's what you want to do. That's the way, I like that. That's your character. That's what you should do. Kevin Owens is kind of. I love Kevin Owens. I feel like Kevin Owens goes out there. He just fight Owens, fight Owens, fight, and then obviously I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan. So next, you saw LA Knight in the pool of Logan Paul. Logan Paul coming home, and he was like, "Man, who the hell's like? How did he get past security?" But that's just, that's just the LA Knight. Like, what I mean? Then they had a promo with Carmelo Hayes. Love Carmelo Hayes. Hope that he does. Hope that he doesn't fade away too far after losing to the LA Knight, because the LA Knight's going to challenge Logan Paul. Would love to see Carmelo Hayes, qualify for the Money in the Bank. participation, whatever that they're trying to do. So Nick Aldis in the main event barred the Tongans Solo, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, and Solo versus Kevin Owens. Heyman, the wise man was forced to kind of put Solo Sikoa's foot on the rope. Kind of crazy, but I can't get too crazy into it because running out of time on this segment. Heyman claims to want to help Owens. That's so far it's just been seemed like it's kind of a lie. I don't know if Paul Heyman is going to go out that crazy to prove that he's with Solo Sikoa and stuff like that. I honestly kind of think that it'd be better if he doesn't do so, and if he kind of stabs them in the back, so to speak, before they stab him in the back, kind of like what Sami Zayn was kind of stuck into for the Bloodline storyline. So it should be kind of crazy, kind of what's going on with that. After the match, he was attacked by the Tongans. Randy Orton helps out, and RKO to Tongaloa. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love how they kind of kind of humanized Tongaloa, because I feel like ever since he made it to WWE Smackdown, he's just been on a wreck. He's just been this wrecking ball of just absolute carnage. So yeah. All right, guys, do not go anywhere. We got done with our WWE Smackdown review. Now we're going to jump right on into our WWE Clash at the Castle review. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about. First and foremost, hope you guys had an amazing Father's Day weekend. Hope all you fathers out there had a good time, barbecue, drink some beer, relax, hang out with the kids, the wife, et cetera, et cetera. And, happy Father's Day all around. Once again, the Boston Celtics are the WWE champions. See what this podcast has me doing? Definitely. Like if I ever make it in ESPN, if I ever go up to the podium and be like, I would like to congratulate Boston Celtics on winning the WWE NBA. Just kidding. No, definitely. Congratulations to all you Boston fans out there. And segment one, we talked about our WWE Smackdown review. Now we're going to get into our WWE Clash at the Castle review as well. So yeah, before we get started with that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMC podcast.net. We get a number of questions that come in from viewers like you. So remember, you can put your question on top of the list by using this link right here. This pretty little link. Tell me how you feel about wrestling. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Give me potential storylines. Tell me what you want to see on Monday Night Raw. Tell me what you would like. What you would have liked to see at WWE Clash at the Castle. Obviously, very, very something about wrestling that that NBA fans and Major League Baseball fans and NFL fans. And, don't get me wrong, the spirit of competition, but just it's so subjective. It's like sometimes you can you can look up stats. You can look up stats on what happened at PLEs and pay-per-views and stuff like that. But if you don't actually watch it yourself, you can't really understand what it really is, if that makes sense. I don't know if I don't know if I'm losing you guys right here, but like if you're watching wrestling, like if you can read on ESPN and be like, oh, Cody Rhodes defeated AJ Styles. Okay, that was very broad, but there's more than that. There's the style of wrestling. There's the way he panders to the crowd. There's the way he holds himself within a match. A guy could hold himself good in a match, and then like he can show absolute like downtrodden discouragement where he doubts himself, and he'd be like, dude, that's a whole story right there. That's just crazy how wrestling is. So, guys, once again, I want to remind you guys to use that GSMC tips and donations link so we can talk some good stuff. We can talk some good stuff. Well, guys, we're going to talk about our WWE Clash of the Castle review. So, first and foremost, let's go ahead and dig on into. Hold on, let me find the right page here. Apologies, sorry. No, like, I should add this on my, I got this on my notes. First, we're going to talk about Bayley. Bayley defeating Piper Niven for the WWE Championship. Kind of knew this was going to happen. Kind of knew that, I feel like this was kind of like not like a squash match or whatever, but, Bayley ultimately needs a little more credibility, kind of like what I was talking about before. With her kind of being that boring champion, Piper Niven was I don't want to say set up to fail because that sounds, kind of mean, but she was in her hometown. She went out there. Obviously, win or lose, you knew for her that this was going to be a major, major, major match for her to kind of remember for her whole entire career. I bet family, friends were there. That's cool. That's cool. She put on one hell of a match against Bayley, came damn near close, but Bayley did what she did to kind of win. When I say kind of win, because you had to know that Bayley was going to win. You had to know Bayley was going to win. Piper Niven was, I'm not saying she was less deserving of this championship opportunity, but once WWE they like to pander to the crowd, like when you saw Mansoor win the greatest Royal Rumble ever, or kind of like where you saw Jinder Mahal like facing like it's just. And it's smart. It's just business. It's just business. And Piper Niven wasn't more or less granted a shot at a championship. She was more or less granted a shot that, hey, like you could do a lot in this company. So don't ever discourage yourself. Don't ever feel like WWE doesn't care. Don't ever feel like you can't be a WWE Women's Champion one day. So that's why I feel like 1,010% this match was a huge win for Piper Niven. I want to see her and Chelsea Green kind of move forward with the whole tag team titles and kind of just stuff like that. So yeah. So next we see Sami Zayn fighting against Chad Gable. Chad Gable once again his anger, and I feel like I love this. I love Sami Zayn. I love Chad Gable. I love the way that they're kind of, the way they're kind of constantly fighting at each other reminds me of like kind of like an Edge and Mick Foley bout for the Intercontinental Championship. But and I say Mick Foley because I don't know why Sami Zayn reminds me of Mick Foley so much, but I know it's point too much for something needs to happen between Alpha Academy and Chad Gable because the same stuff keeps happening over and over again. Chad Gable has lost. Chad Gable has lost 3 times in a row. He's lost in 2 head-to-head battles, and he's lost in a triple threat match with Bronson Reed and Sami Zayn at King of the Ring. So there needs to be something. There needs to be something different for Chad Gable. Recently, he signed a contract with WWE, so he is not going anywhere. I kind of think this is the perfect time to kind of have Otis and Gable go at it. Probably has something heading toward Money in the Bank. Probably having Chad Gable disowning the Alpha Academy. Kind of building up his new Alpha Academy. I know, you've seen the Creed brothers on the Raw roster. They were, drafted by WWE, Monday Night Raw, and they haven't really done anything with them. So, like, WWE Creative, if you can find a way to, have the Creed brothers, I feel like if they turn heel, that would be kind of like where you saw Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas as the greatest tag team with Kurt Angle. I feel like once these 3 guys are together, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to make a huge impact within WWE. Chad Gable, I feel like should be if this happened where he created a new Alpha Academy with the Creed brothers, and if he won Money in the Bank, I feel like that'd be awesome for WWE. I feel like that'd be great. Chad Gable's a huge, he's a very complex competitor. He has, a built-in crowd around him. Obviously, if you're an Olympic wrestler, they automatically respect you. He, kind of reminds you like Kurt Angle kind of thing. So I feel like the best person to hold the Money in the Bank would, obviously I kind of have, thoughts on Drew McIntyre, but Chad Gable he's also up there as well. Because if Chad Gable, I feel like if he doesn't have a good storyline, I'm talking after the whole Otis thing, after him and Otis go at it, probably at SummerSlam or Money in the Bank. I don't want his character to die. Like, no, not like that, but if you're with me as the wrestling crowd, I just don't want his character. Because I feel like they've done such a good job with Chad Gable. Obviously, you had the Shorty G thing going on. That didn't really work out. If Shorty G was still in WWE, he probably would be, out of a job. So. That was, but that's just my opinion. All right, next we have Damian Priest. Damian Priest against Drew McIntyre for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Kind of, not spending too much on this. There's a couple of things that I kind of, kind of thought this was going to happen. CM Punk was going to get involved. Duh. Damian Priest can't win a championship match clearly because I feel like WWE thinks that the WWE universe don't really trust him as a champion. Duh. We've kind of thought of that before. And it's not that it's Damian Priest. It's not that it's Damian Priest. It's just I feel like, wrong time. Him winning the Money in the Bank championship was great. He can't win a match without any interference, especially against Drew McIntyre. If Damian Priest defeated Drew McIntyre cleanly during this match, I felt like that would have did more good as compared to CM Punk interfering within the match. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like WWE would be better off having Damian Priest establish that credibility against Drew McIntyre. But Drew McIntyre, he got the bailout. And then when I say bailout, it was like, oh, he was supposed to win, in his home country, yeah. But then you had CM Punk, go behind the scenes and do all that. And then he went on a huge rampage, obviously what you're probably going to see on WWE Monday Night Raw. But I don't know. It's just, I don't if I really hope that, they find a way to kind of help Damian Priest establish some sort of like, I don't want to say persona. I don't want to say persona. God, it's so hard. It's so hard because when you see Damian Priest go out there, you can see he cares. He cares about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. He wants to be better. He wants to be more than some bridge champion. I can honestly say, as a WWE fan, but that doesn't sound right as well. Oh God, I'm just all over the place, guys. I apologize. Um, if Damian Priest loses the championship before Cody Rhodes, I could see Damian Priest's character kind of falter to maybe an intercontinental champion kind of thing. And I don't mean, like I said, I'm not trying to say that to be like like a Richard or whatever. But I feel like Damian, he hasn't been established from WWE as a suitable or like a legitimate champion because it's just so many interferences and stuff like that. Like it's crazy. Absolutely 1,010% crazy. Moving on, we kind of need to speed this up, guys. So we're gonna move on into our WWE World Women's Tag Team Championship. Not spending too much on it. Isla Dawn and I'm Afraid defeated Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, and Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. This was honestly, I liked it. I liked it. There had to be a championship change. Usually with PLEs that happen in the things overseas. Obviously WWE for the fourth straight PLE. It's been overseas. It's kind of been in another country. So love that Dawn and Fryer were able to kind of do this. I feel like it's kind of better for them to have the world women's tag team titles. I was waiting for Bianca Belair and Jade to drop the titles. Although I feel like WWE kind of did us dirty because I feel like, once when you were falling in love with the wrestling style of this World Women's Tag Team Championship, Bianca and Jade, Kind of like how I was. The moment I found out these guys were, they won the championship, I was like, okay, great. Here comes a whole bunch of squash matches. Here comes show the world, Bianca and Jade. You guys are the two most powerful women in the world wrestling women's industry and stuff like that. I thought that her matches were going to be squash matches, but they put on really good matches. They were able to kind of, show that Chelsea Green has skills, show that Indy Hartwell is able to kind of, and, Candice LeRae. They did really, really well with those WWE Women's World Tag Team titles. Now you kind of have them separate. Like what I was talking about before, I feel like when WWE kind of put the strap on them, obviously they don't do anything like in terms of like turmoil and stuff like that. But these are two of the top superstars in women's wrestling for SmackDown. Two of the biggest draft picks they have ever made. And putting them as a team instead of the singles category, we as a WWE universe, I want to see these girls go at each other. I thought they were going to find a way to kind of drive a wedge between them to, kind of dispute and kind of turn each other's back on each other, like on SummerSlam. I was picking Bianca to kind of go, you know, kind of, heel, but that was my opinion or whatever. And lastly, before we move on, Cody Rhodes defeats AJ Styles. We kind of knew this was going to end, kind of be the way it was going to end up. Cody Rhodes did show more of a vicious side of him, which was, I feel like it's better for the American Nightmare to kind of do that because everybody knows that he's white collar. He comes every single time outside with a suit. Hey, what do you guys want to talk about? Like, then, that's Cody Rhodes. That's something that we all respect him as. And he does pretty darn good with it. 1,010%. He does really, really well. So, then he was able to, Styles countered the not Styles Clash. He was able to, the phenomenal forearm, and he was able to kind of get him to quit. So I thought that was pretty cool. But then after the match, you had, the Bloodline, the show line. Obviously, you have Kevin Owens and Randy Orton who supported Cody Rhodes, especially after WrestleMania 40, him finishing his story. Obviously kind of building more toward a kind of a storyline in terms of that. Guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump right on into our Monday Night Raw preview, so hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host here, Eric Rodriguez, with all your cool wrestling storylines, all your action inside and outside of the ring, covered here on this beautiful GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to remind you guys, we did go through a lot. If you want to check that out again, on our YouTube page, on our Sports Network, we do upload, different segments and stuff like that. So remember, you catch up on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. We talked about our WWE Smackdown review, our WWE Clash at the Castle review as well. So now let's jump right on into our Monday Night Raw preview. So let's go ahead and do that. So guys, tonight on Monday Night Raw, it's going to be at the American Bank Center, Corpus Christi, Corpus Christi. Sorry about that, Texas. So a couple of storylines that are pretty huge on Raw. Obviously, there's a lot of Clash at the Castle kind of implications. I feel like this is going to be big. I feel like this Monday Night Raw, there has to be a lot of fine lines. I don't want any blurred lines anymore. Obviously, you've had, the Drew McIntyre and the CM Punk thing like happen over and over again. Karrion Kross constantly trying to tease Xavier Woods to break up the New Day. Yeah, and that's, I like a heel change, but I don't know why I don't really see the New Day kind of doing it. But that could be my fandom as well. Also, like Uncle Howdy's, like there's just so many things that, especially heading toward Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is one of the biggest pay-per-views in WWE. Obviously, like having the kind of the best qualifiers to fight in that ladder match, it's going to be crucial. It's going to be crucial. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. So I mentioned Karrion Kross trying to tempt over and over again Xavier Woods. Last week, the New Day cost the AOP the World Tag Team Championships. So I don't really know how much they're going to try to tempt Xavier Woods. I feel like, because you have AOP, you have Karrion Kross. If Xavier Woods, if they kind of find like a character development where he's like, where he shows the kind of dark side. I don't know. I don't know if that would work. Like, I like King Woods. He's great with the New Day. Something that's like, I feel like it's like one of those situations where if it's not broken, don't fix it. Because if like, I don't know, it'd be so crazy. That's why I don't see anything of it, especially after, and see this once again, kind of talks about credibility in terms of WWE and their storylines. If AOP did go to NXT to win the World NXT Tag Team Championships, or if Final Testament actually did something under Karrion Kross, but right now they've just been floating around, kind of like where you have Legado del Fantasma. Like, and I don't know if, I'm, comparing apples to oranges here, but these guys, like, they're never given opportunities to kind of be like, oh, this is some badass group. These bad guys can do crazy things. They're winning matches. They're not. They're cutting good promos. They're not. They're getting title opportunities and winning them. They're not. So this is like one of those things where I don't believe in Karrion Kross. Thus makes me to believe that you can't do with Xavier Woods. That's just my opinion, of course. I feel like, as a wrestling fan, obviously I think outside of the box a lot, and, I'm not I'm the biggest wrestling fandom you'll probably ever meet. Love talking about wrestling, but I think outside of the box, I'm like, dude, I just don't, there's no success. There's no success for the with the Final Testament. And if they become prominent on Monday Night Raw, let's just say they do get Xavier Woods to leave. Kofi Kingston, if Kofi Kingston's been quote unquote injured, which they can also use to their advantage to be like, hey, Kofi's out. If you need backup, we can help you out. And if he kind of finds a way to kind of dip on it, kind of, tap your foot in the pool, be like, do it like this? I'm not too sure. Like, I think that the Final Testament should have had a little more credibility before you decided to go out there and pursue Xavier Woods. But that's just me. That's just me. If Xavier Woods joins the Final Testament, I don't know. Maybe he can go after the Intercontinental. Sami Zayn's going to need another competitor. He's going to need someone to kind of compete with them. I kind of banked on Jey Uso, or maybe Finn Balor to kind of be the next one in line. But I don't know. It should be, kind of crazy to find out what goes on after that. We have Dragon Lee and Carlito competing in what is it, the Money in the Bank ladder match. Honestly, I don't like this for both of these competitors. I feel like you can get someone better than Dragon Lee and Carlito. Not that I'm trying to hate on these guys. If Dragon Lee, you put him in the ladder, he's a luchador. This guy's gonna do some crazy things. But if either one of these guys, you just win this match, obviously one of them is gonna win the match. They're gonna lose. You know that these guys are gonna lose. Why would we put someone? Can you see Dragon Lee holding a Money in the Bank match or Money in the Bank briefcase? Can you see Carlito for the betterment of the company? No, you can't. And this is something on unpredictability that I feel like Triple H has done really, really well. I honestly, but this is my opinion, I don't like these two fighting for a spot within the ladder match spectrum for Money in the Bank. I feel like these guys serve no purpose. And I'm not trying to sound mean. I'm not trying to sound mean. They don't really serve any purpose right now in terms of storylines with Damian Priest or Cody Rhodes. I don't understand why these two guys are. No, my only hope, and once again, I have not watched Monday Night Raw. I know it aired already on the East Coast. I swear to God, I haven't looked at TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I feel like this only works if Drew McIntyre comes out, beats the crap out of Carlito, and fights Dragon Lee, and I'm going to take your spot in this qualifying match so I can win this briefcase that's been screwing me over ever since I, like, it's like, I feel like that's the only way they can kind of restore. I honestly do not like this match. I hope something kind of switches here. But, like I said, no disrespect. Not trying to throw shade at any of these superstars, but I feel like in this contemporary, WWE kind of storyline, and if you want to make it a little more intense, like I'm pretty sure Paul Levesque wants to, you can have someone like Dragon Lee or Carlito fighting in the Money in the Bank match. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. All right, next we have Jey Uso is determined to secure a spot in the Money in the Bank, and this makes sense. This makes sense. Obviously, I have three guys from WWE Monday Night Raw that should be in the Money in the Bank. Jey Uso, one. Drew McIntyre, another one. Imagine Drew McIntyre, the person that has recently exclaimed on live media that he hates this briefcase because it has screwed him over. Imagine if he had the briefcase. He'd be like, oh, now I can kind of use it for my own beneficial, needs or whatever. It would be more electric. It would be so unpredictable. People would pay attention to Drew McIntyre. People would care about his character. People would just they would go crazy because, of course, you also had this CM Punk and Drew McIntyre kind of, conflict going on. And it'd be like, okay, even if he loses to CM Punk, which CM Punk is old, he's really old. I don't think I'm not trying to sound mean today. I don't know why. I just seem like I'm just, spewing out a whole bunch of things you guys don't like. But I don't see another title run within CM Punk. I'm sorry. I like CM Punk. I love that he made his way back to the WWE. I I would love to see CM Punk, but then again, he got injured. If CM Punk would have never gotten injured and won the Royal Rumble and won the championship against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, I feel like I would be singing a whole different tone. But that's all about, obviously, what has happened in terms of that. But right now, if you force Punk on the WWE universe, I think it'll work because people love CM Punk. I do love CM Punk. But it just seems so inauthentic. And I know like I might have lost you guys. I feel like Drew McIntyre would be amazing. And thirdly, Finn Balor. Finn Balor wins at Money in the Bank, cashes in that same night to defeat Damian Priest or at SummerSlam because who's gonna fight Damian Priest? We don't have anybody yet. We don't have, the obviously I thought that there was going to be a rematch between Gunther and Randy Orton for the WWE Men's King of the Ring, but that did not happen. I don't know why. I think Randy's kind of working on injuries, but if Gunther wins, he's going to fight Damian Priest. If Randy Orton wins, he's going to fight Cody Rhodes. I'd rather see Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton fight at SummerSlam. I'm sorry, but that's just me because I feel like Damian Priest versus Gunther. If Damian Priest wins, he's gonna win by, someone interfering or whatever. Or if Gunther beats Damian Priest, and if you have Finn Balor cash in the championship, and then there would be like kind of like not like a so to speak, kind of like a Judgment Day Civil War, where you have kind of Finn Balor holding the strap instead of Damian Priest, and Damian Priest is kind of forced to follow what Finn Balor wants to do, and then that causes them to ultimately kind of butt heads and kind of rival against each other. I feel like maybe that'll work. But there's just so many open opportunities. I don't think Dragon Lee or Carlito kind of fit anywhere inside of this. So, yeah. But like I said before, all these are my opinion, obviously objective. So next we have Braun Breaker. Where is Braun Breaker going to go? What is he going to do? His last couple of matches, his last promos have been garbage, in my opinion. I feel like they should have done a lot better. Now you had him beat Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov, I feel like, had a way bigger kind of, had a way bigger potential push than Braun Breaker. You had Braun Breaker break him and defeat him on Monday Night Raw last week. And no, it's just crazy. In terms of WWE, I feel like they're kind of failing Braun Breaker in terms of this because I feel like he can ultimately be part of like a, kind of like a great storyline, be part of a great maybe like a great faction or whatever. I'm not sure if he's going to be the next one to join Karrion Kross, and then they all, but then that doesn't make any sense. See, that's why WWE fans are, very skeptical. They'll see something to be like, really? Really? Like, that doesn't make any sense. We don't want to see that. So, obviously it should be interesting. Drew McIntyre declares himself in the Money in the Bank position. I think that's yes. I heard that, in an article. I feel like that's kind of his best bet. Drew McIntyre should probably ultimately be WWE World Heavyweight Champion in terms of like, kind of like I have, first and foremost, I had Seth Rollins. Then you have CM Punk. Then you have Drew McIntyre, and then you kind of have Damian Priest. Maybe that's why, like, maybe I have kind of have the mad on for Damian Priest so much, and like I'm a huge Damian Priest fan, but I know, like, kind of like his, they were trying to turn him into like a baby face, which he cannot be unless he is, kind of screwed over by the Judgment Day. But I don't know. I just feel like WWE can do a way better job with some of this creative ideas flowing toward the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And then CM Punk. Is CM Punk going to be seen tonight? This guy made an appearance in Scotland. I feel like he kind of deserves it to the WWE universe to, most importantly, kind of be involved within the storylines. But like I said before, I'm not too sure. Wrapping this up, will Chad Gable disown the Alpha Academy? Like what I kind of talked about in our last segment, I feel like he's going to, and he's going to build something with the Creed brothers. I feel like that would be the best bet for Chad Gable. And lastly, is it time for Uncle Howdy? Uncle Howdy and his QR code last week on SmackDown and Monday Night Raw said that June 17th is the time for the downtrodden six to ultimately make their debut. And we've been waiting so damn long. Who they're going to target, I'm not sure if they're going to target anybody, or absolutely nobody. Who knows? Can't wait to get into this. Can't wait to see what happens on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy Monday Night Raw. Hope you guys, we're shocked because I'm ready to be shocked tonight. So yeah, well, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump right on into our wrestling power rankings for the men's and women's for this week. So hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reiterate what we talked about our WWE Friday Night Smackdown review. We talked about our WWE Clash at the Castle review as well. And we also jumped right on into our Monday Night Raw preview, which is happening right now in Corpus Christi, Texas. Can't wait to watch that. But before we move on, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Show me your questions. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump right on into this wrestling power rankings. So let's go ahead and once again, being a gentleman that I am, let's jump right on into women's first. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, at number 10, I do have Liv Morgan, and like I swear to God, I'm not a huge Liv Morgan kind of hater, but she should have defended her championship at Clash of the Castle, 110%. She won her match against Becky, really, really like. Dirty dumb. Just kidding. No, just no. Like you see how they kind of gonna mix it up there. No, but I just like I said, like kind of like what Cody Rhodes is. I feel like Liv Morgan's better. Like she's better as a chaser. She's better as a chaser for the title. The moment she has the strap, I feel like WWE kind of knew that we're like, oh, like we have to do something with Liv. We have to do something with Liv. Let's make her heel. So like, you turn her heel because I feel like Rhea Ripley was never heel. Rhea Ripley, if she was a heel, she like Becky Lynch said in an interview, if she was heel, she was the worst heel that and possibly on planet Earth. But you know, Liv Morgan, I feel like needs a little more, more effort in terms of her in terms of her creative, in terms of her, character development. But, obviously, we're still at a young age within the Paul Levesque era. So, we're going to get it right. At number 9, I got Billie Starkz, the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion. Still killing it on Ring of Honor. She's taking on competitors. I feel like her next competitor is going to be probably, I want to say Queen Aminata, but Queen Aminata's kind of going for Athena. Tasha Steeles, maybe, perhaps. But there's, a whole bunch of suitors, a whole bunch of people who want to take on Billie Starkz. And she's done an amazing job so far holding the championship title. She's been more of a formidable championship within Ring of Honor. So, gotta throw her flowers. With the women's power rankings at number 9, I have Billie Starkz. All right, at number 8, I got Kaylani Jordan. Jordan, she's the inaugural WWE Women's NXT North American Champion. She has her first title defense against Mi Chin tomorrow on WWE NXT, so make sure you tune into that. But she kind of mentioned it herself. There's no prestige on this title unless I make it. So it'd be kind of stupid for WWE to kind of have, superstars constantly throw up this championship, constantly like have it in balance, not having a formidable champion. So I feel like this reign needs to be big. This reign needs to be really big. Excuse me. I don't feel like it's really going to go anywhere. I want to say War Games. No, not War Games. Not War Games. Maybe, oh God, next NXT Stand and Deliver would be big, but that would create prestige in the title as well. So honestly, Kaylani Jordan, I have her in my women's power ranking at number 8. At number 7, I have Athena. Of course, you have the longest reigning Ring of Honor World Women's Champion on the list, obviously formerly known as Ember Moon on WWE NXT and WWE Monday Night Raw. Miss her. She belongs on WWE. I'm just kidding. I love that she's with I do love that she's with Ring of Honor, and I want to slap myself every single time. I want to slap that untransparent like bias as a WWE fan primarily. And I want to be like, dude, like she's doing really really well, in Ring of Honor. Like, why are you throwing so much in? And then my WWE fan myself, I'll be like, bro, like. Dude, she can do so much good in like WWE NXT, and I'd be like, dude, why are you, you have the two angels, have the angel and the devil on my shoulder. Like, I'm just kidding, no. But she's an amazing superstar. She's an amazing athlete. So happy that she's, kicking ass, taking names over at the Ring of Honor brand. So, love Athena. Absolutely. All right. At number 6, I have Bayley. Bayley, the WWE Women's Champion. Obviously she's defeated a couple superstars like Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and recently at Piper Niven at Clash of the Castle. And I want to put her in my top 3. But if she defeats Nia Jax at SummerSlam, she will be 1,010% in my top 3. If that's not much of a motivation for you, Bayley, do it. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. But most importantly, do it for the guy at the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast that wants you to beat Nia Jax. Beat Nia Jax, I'm just kidding. No, obviously she's not doing this to be part of some list. You know what I mean? Like, no, but Bayley, she's an amazing superstar. And like I said, like I talked about a lot on this podcast, a lot of people said that she's kind of a boring champion. She might be a better chaser as she is the champion. But so far, I feel like she's been good. She's, I feel like so far you're gonna have this, thing with Nia Jax. Is she going to, defeat someone at Money in the Bank? Is the next women's participant in the Money in the Bank going to win? Going to be part of the WWE Smackdown roster? Imagine Bianca Belair or Jade Cargill. I feel like both of those superstars, ever since they dropped the titles, on Saturday in Glasgow. I feel like those two are going to be in it. I feel like they're going to be in it. One of them's going to win the Money in the Bank. I would put my money probably on Jade, but no, it should be pretty interesting. Should be, still kind of up in the air. You know what I mean? All right. Kind of speeding this up. At number 5, I have Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné, I really had doubts about heading toward AEW. So far she's been pretty good. She's been the fighting champion. I love that about her. He has Stephanie Bakura, the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, knocking on the door at Forbidden Door. So hope that she keeps that momentum up. At number 4, I have Nia Jax. I have nothing but great things to say about the Queen. Love Nia Jax. Love her future within the WWE. She's going to have an amazing match with Bayley at SummerSlam because I don't think anyone's going to kind of, dethrone Bayley at Money in the Bank. At number 3, I have Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez finally makes it on my top 4 because she's been one hell of a champion. I was kind of skeptical because I was like, you know what? She did win by cheating, with Ash by Elegance and Tatum Paxley interfering, but she kind of deserves it. This girl, this champion, this NXT Women's Champion, within her first month and a half reign, it has not been easy. Usually when somebody wins the championship, WWE is kind of like, okay, let's throw them a couple of jobbers. Let's throw them a couple of, couple of easy wins, Not that I'm saying Naomi and Tiffany Stratton and Piper Niven are easy wins, but wins that you kind of know that the champion isn't going to drop her title. Like she fought against, Jordan Grace. I was like, oh, damn. This girl is totally screwed, yo. She's going to lose. And she proved me wrong. Like, that's crazy. And she's done so damn well. I feel like every single turn of the way I've doubted Roxanne Perez, and she's proved me wrong. So the fact that she's not number 1 kind of baffles me because of these 2 next girls are absolutely dynamite. Obviously, one of my favorites, we have Toni Storm of the AEW World Women's Champion, the timeless Toni Storm. Definitely love her. Definitely love her character aspect. And I got to get to the men, so let's go to move on. Number 1, I got Jordan Grace. Love Jordan Grace. She recently defeated Tatum Paxley at against all odds. Tatum Paxley came out as an absolute surprise. I wasn't, surprised by that. I knew that she was going to, be the one to challenge Jordan Grace. So, not really surprised by that. All right, so moving on to the men's power rankings. At number 10, I have Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher continues to be absolutely impressive within the Ring of Honor circuit and AEW. He's going to fight in a 6-pack challenge match for the ladder match for the TNT Championship. So love that. At number 9, of course, I have my man Mark Briscoe, the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. Not going anywhere. He's obviously huge on my list. This guy's a huge ticking time bomb. This guy's a huge, enthusiasm, charismatic bomb that I absolutely love. Hope that he keeps killing it. Next, I have Obafemi. Obafemi, the NXT North American Champion. He's been absolute dominant. He beat Wesley, and he also beat Joe Kofi over at WWE NXT Battleground. I only expect more from him, honestly. If he wasn't dethroned then, I feel like there's going to be probably someone from TNA to cross that forbidden door to maybe fight him for that championship. I don't want to say maybe perhaps Joe Henry or maybe perhaps like Brother Nero or, the Broken Matt, the Broken Matt Hardy. And of course, I had number 7. I got Damian Priest. Once again, I love Damian Priest, but once again, he had to win by some kind of interference, some kind of just something to throw out the match. Drew McIntyre was so close, so damn close of retaining and regaining that WWE World Heavyweight Championship, but that didn't ultimately work out. At number 6, I got Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is going to fight Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at AEW's Forbidden Door. So obviously he's the AEW International Champion, but he's doing pretty good. EC3 at number 5 because EC3's absolutely been holding the North Wrestling Alliance on his back. He's recently been. I had a chance to see him in Lake Elsinore. Didn't know what was happening until later, and I promised my kids to take them to a trampoline park, so I wasn't able to kind of go over that. At number 4, I got Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley, the IWGP Champion, still killing it. No one's gonna. This guy's untouchable. He's definitely one of the best champions within the spectrum of New Japan Professional Wrestling. Also, the All Elite, wrestling with that. All right, and next we got Trick Williams. Trick Williams, the WWE NXT Champion at number 3. feel like I don't think he's gonna lose to the guy who wins the 25-man battle royal. I honestly don't. Obviously, I kind of like had speculation that it was going to be perhaps Joe Henry, or is also going to be Jeff Hardy. I don't think right now any any NXT superstars really has a chance to kind of dethrone this guy. Yeah, honestly, my pick is Trick Williams. All right, at number two, I have AEW World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Strickland. Absolutely love Swerve. He's one of the best, kind of AEW World Heavyweight Champions we've seen in kind of like my time. And yeah, number nine, no brainer, guys. We have Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes successfully retained his WWE Undisputed Championship match in a night quit match at Glasgow, Scotland, at WWE Clash at the Castle against the phenomenal AJ Styles. All right, so we're gonna move on here, guys. That was lovely. And finally, kind of finishing it, and I don't know why I tried keeping a timer this whole time too. So we're gonna start with we're gonna end with our fifth segment, our Monday Memorial. We're gonna talk about Shad Gaspard. So hey, do not go anywhere. All right, and we're back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. And our last or fifth and final segment, we're going to talk about our Monday Night Memorial, Shad Gaspard. So let's go ahead and jump right on into that. Running into overtime once again, as always. I apologize for that. But yeah, let's jump right into our Shad. You know what I mean? So Shad Javier Gaspard, born January 1981. He obviously, he passed in May 17th. 2022. He signed with WWE in 2023 with the Ohio Valley Wrestling. He's a two-time Ohio Valley Wrestling Southern Tag Team Champion, obviously with JTG as a part of Crime Time. In 2006, they were promoted to the main roster. They were actually released the following year. Crime Time returned in 2008. Gaspard was officially released from WWE in 2010. After the WWE, he pursued an acting career. He was in movies and television series and the likes of Think Like a Man 2 was a great movie. Love that movie. Great Get Hard with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. The Game, From Dusk Till Dawn, the series. He was awarded the Warrior Award at the WWE Hall of Fame in 2022. He was born in Brooklyn, New York at the age of 8. His father trained him in boxing, judo, kickboxing, and Muay Thai. Damn, that's pretty cool. I wish I was trained in all that. Instead, I was, taught to be a good little church boy. I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. No, I played a lot of baseball. And played a lot of football, basketball, all that, He was in competitions. He was in competitions that featured people of the age of 20 or higher, and he was only 16 years old. That's crazy. How could somebody do that? Obviously, he looks like a big dude. This guy looks like he would absolutely destroy anybody inside of a combat sports kind of spectrum. So, obviously, highly talented. You even saw it in the ring. I remember watching Crime Time, kind of growing up Crime Time, of course, with the whole, this isn't a political podcast, so I'm not going to jump right onto that. But This the whole, crime time thing was a little like, eh. But no, these guys did what they had to do. These guys did with what WWE gave them, what WWE Creative kind of gave them. But, I feel like they did good. I feel like they were doing really good. Obviously, in their debut, they did beat the Spirit Squad, the WWE Tag Team Champions. That's kind of crazy. They beat Johnny and I think it was Mickey. These guys should have been the WWE Tag Team Champ, not some kind of and it's so much wasted talent back in the day. Like I don't know. Obviously can't get mad at it now. I was always taught to kind of forgive and forget. you but as a wrestling fan, I did feel like we were robbed of Shad and JTG because I feel like they were great superstars. I absolutely loved them as a tag team. Once again, Crime Time wasn't really my forte, but anything besides that, I swear to God, these guys were great. Um, I feel like they were loved in the locker room. It was, there was reports saying that these guys were absolutely, it was comfortable. Obviously from Ohio Valley Wrestling, you've had to have had a bunch of training. Obviously, head to toe buttoned up. And that's something that Shad and JTG kind of accomplished there. And, the fact that they were kind of like from WWE is, I feel like, kind of like a huge mistake. But, it is what it is. And, all that in a bag of chips. Also, Shad, he also wrestled in the Professional Wrestling Alliance in the Jersey All Professional Wrestling, also in New Japan Professional Wrestling. So he, kind of absolutely, killed that. The reason why I kind of brought this guy up is this guy is an absolutely amazing human being. He ultimately passed because of a huge rip current within Venice Beach, and a strong current. When lifeguards kind of came his way as he was kind of pedaling below the water, kind of faulting, to his, ultimately his demise. He, he brought up his son and he, wanted the lifeguards to kind of save him the most. Ultimate dad thing, ultimate dad respect, the best thing a dad could do. Honestly, one of the best dads in the world obviously needs to be, acknowledged today. We acknowledge my man, Shad Gaspard. 1010%. He went missing. You had people like, I think it was Chris Masters, and a couple other superstars that actually were, that were very worried about Shad. Great man, great father, great human being. And ultimately, it's kind of didn't really work out. He was missing for the longest time. You know, he was eventually found, obviously, passed away in Venice Beach in, May 17th of 2020. But, he saved the son, has a lot of great accomplishments. Wish he would have been better in WWE, but you couldn't really blame him for that. That's, WWE creative. Well, I'm not trying to throw any shade or anything like that, especially, talking about a memorial segment. But what I kind of wanted to get from this is, coming from this Father's Day weekend, when you're spending, time with, the person you love the most, your dad, who's loved and raised you, or you're barbecuing, having good food, sharing a toast, you know, some fathers, they passed. They passed. But doesn't necessarily mean that they, didn't do their job as, he left the legacy. Left the legacy definitely for his son. He was an amazing human being. To his wife as well. 1010%. And like I said, I don't know why I like ending Mondays on Memorial Monday, kind of segments here. But kind of what I wanted to get done. Kind of wanted to get through it that Shad, Crime Time, him from tagging with JTG, him from entertainment. Like I said, I've watched Think Like a Man too, and it was a great movie. I think he was the boyfriend. No, he did a really good job, and it was unbelievable because some superstars that jump from the WWE ring to features, sometimes it's a little skeptical. Obviously, when the Miz was kind of on the Marine, I was like, I'm gonna, I was kind of hoping to see John Cena again. But obviously, you kind of have the Miz and Misses where he, but that's because he's playing himself. It's not really like such of a action or a Hollywood kind of role here. But definitely 110%. The life that Shad, he passed away 19 years old, very, very, very young. No doubt in my mind that he probably would have made his way back in the WWE spectrum I would have loved that. I would have absolutely loved that. And we were robbed from this beautiful man. We were robbed from this amazing father too soon. Hopefully he's well, not hopefully. I know he's up in heaven right now, at the pearly gates, enjoying all the perks you have from being an amazing human being on this God-given land called Earth. So, love Shad. Hopefully all's well with his family and stuff like that. So, we lost a good one too young. Lost a good one too young. Well, guys, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Leave a positive review. It really, 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 really does make a difference. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, baby, all the way. We also invite you guys to follow us on Facebook, Twitter /X, and TikTok and Instagram for more content and updates. Make sure you tune into the GSMC basketball podcast tomorrow. They're definitely, my boy Nelson talking about the Boston Celtics winning the 2023-2024 NBA championship. And if you're not a wrestling fan, or if you're not a basketball fan, we also have fantasy sports with my boy Chris. We have the Andrew Tate Show. We have the Women's Hoops and Heels Sports Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything women's, the Olympics, golf, tennis, you name it, MMA, all that in a bag of chips. Also, we have my man TJ and Jeremy on sports. We have the Chip Shot Football Podcast with Manny, also the football podcast with Kenneth, the baseball podcast with my man Sam. I was on that podcast once, and it was pretty damn fun. It was pretty darn cool. So make sure you guys check into that. We have sports and sports and sports. We have the hockey podcast and the golf podcast with my boy Garrison. And, be a part of this GSMC Sports, bloodline that we love so much. You have a whole bunch of passionate, podcaster that's going to give you guys all the updates, going to give you guys all the cool factoids. It's going to tell you guys what to watch, how to watch, and what to kind of look forward to in terms of the world of sports. But most importantly, it's free, dog. It's absolutely free. We're not like ESPN or Fox Sports. Like, you guys can watch the GSMC Sports Podcast absolutely free. These guys are entertaining as hell. Wouldn't lie to you guys, 1,010%. So, of course, you guys love my podcast. Definitely. Make sure you tune into that as well. Every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So, once again, hope you guys had an amazing Father's Day weekend. Absolutely love the heck out of you guys. And I'll see you. Hope you guys had a good Monday. I know Monday could be a drag. Hope you guys have your favorite snack, your favorite beverage. You guys are unwinding for a nice, good night's rest. So I will see you guys tomorrow on Tuesday. So, hey, stay beautiful.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to